Oh, what is going on, everybody? My name is Japes. Welcome back. Another episode in my path to Power Champions League Tuesday. Just finished watching Borussia Dortmund draw 2-2 with Real Madrid, and it was a fantastic game. Can't help but think Dortmund got a little bit robbed, but nonetheless, a draw against Real Madrid for most clubs is always a good thing. So we're heading back into Ultimate Team after I pick up some catalog loan players. We're going to go out and grab the Bundesliga players on the loan list. That is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and his teammate and cover athlete Marco Reus. Why are we doing this? Because we have Arturo Vidal in the squad. We packed him in the last episode. If you guys have missed any of the episodes, I will leave a link to the entire Path to Power playlist in the description down below. You can always catch up with where we are, but I offer different tips and tricks and kind of general commentary on what's going on in FIFA in each of them. So they're not like, it's nice to watch them in order, but you definitely don't have to. So that link will be in the description down below. I want to say thank you real quick, or maybe not so quick, for all of the comments on the last episode. It was absolutely awesome. I tried to go through and answer some questions, but most of them were dropping an opinion in regards to whether or not to use Vidal. And while I'm thinking about it right now, I totally just remembered that you guys wanted me to put the player names over the top and not my gamer tag. So I'm going to have to go ahead and do that. While I was in the process of building this Bundesliga squad and waiting on some open bids and buy nows, and I don't actually know if I showed you guys the prices that I paid for all of them. So I'm going to have to go back through and show you guys that in the next episode as well. I'm failing right now. But I went out to try the bronze upgrade to get some silvers, and what was kind of calculating out in my head, like how many bronze packs would you have to buy to consistently use the bronze upgrade, to get to the silver upgrade, to get to the gold upgrade. If anybody has really tried to grind this method out and if they've had any success, drop a comment and let me know how it's working out for you. Also, as we get going here, luckily we have a bunch of players sell on. We're at 66,748 coins, which is just absolutely phenomenal. I could not have asked for a better start here, and with Arturo Vidal, who sells for, I think he was like 100K last I looked, we're in good shape, but we are going to keep Vidal and go with a Bundesliga squad, at least for a bit. I'm not saying we're going to keep him the entire time, but for the time being, it's a player that I love in real life and one that I love in FIFA as well, so we're going to put him in a squad, make a squad with him. I went out and picked up his Bayern teammate, Douglas Costa, to play left mid for me. You can see we're slowly filling out the squad. Socrates and Toprak, probably your best budget center back pairing in FIFA at the moment, in my opinion. I started perusing and browsing center back pricing for all the different leagues, and you know, I just think that those two, with their combination of pace and defending, by far the best. You can get, I think Toprak I paid like 3,000 for, and Socrates maybe 5.5. So you're getting in for less than 10K with, you know, players with over 75 pace and near 85-ish defending, I want to say. So that's just great. We go out and pick up a German manager item. I went out and picked up a few more throughout some open bids. I know we're going quickly here, but basically what's happening is I'm searching through, putting 150 coin bids on Calcio A, the Bundesliga, the Premier League, the French League, and the Spanish League, La Liga Santander, to go ahead and have them ready when I inevitably switch squads in the future. Because your default manager, I don't actually know what my guy's name is, but he's got still something like 40 contracts on him, which is just great because I can just switch his league and I don't have to worry about it. Bronze contracts are nice and cheap too, so we're in good shape in that situation. I'm gonna put the Maestro chemistry style on Vidal here, and excuse me, I want to talk about chemistry styles in general, like with how hypey people are getting, tweeting out about like this player with this chemistry style, oh my gosh, amazing. So my feeling, and EA could comment and tell us that we're totally wrong, but the chemistry style boosts, I'm going to assume, have been this way since day one when chemistry styles were introduced. I'm assuming your players always got this type of boost, and we frankly just weren't that impressed by it, because my feeling is basic is actually a really, really good chemistry style, because everything your players do gets a little bit better. And like, for me, that's kind of worth a lot. Now, there are some players that increasing certain attributes I think is a really good thing. Like Arturo Vidal, the attributes that I think he would do best with in that position in the RCM are increasing his shooting, his dribbling, and his passing. Those are the things that if he becomes more of an elite player in those areas, he becomes more of an elite midfielder, because his defending and his physical is already really, really good. And it's not to say that basic with even better defending and physical wouldn't be awesome, but like, I see all these, like Lukaku with this sort of chemistry put on, like with a Hunter Chem, has like 95 pace and 90 something finishing. Like, that's great, but it's probably been that way forever. Putting a Hunter chemistry style on him last year, he probably had a similar type similar type pace and finishing, and that's what the styles went for. So I think this year I'm going to kind of stay away from chemistry styles right now. I'm just not buying the hype around them. I don't think that they impact things as much as everybody wants to think that they do. But that's my 2 cents and my personal preference. I think there are a lot more important things than the chemistry style, and the most important thing that I think people don't ever take into consideration, that they absolutely should when they buy a player and they talk about, this guy's got like such and such stats, how come he's so clunky on the ball? Well, if you take any player that is like Robert Lewandowski is always a good, lovely volley. Oh, absolute thunderbolt right into the back by King Arturo. And he's going to suck his thumb, head over to the stands, wind him up, or head over to the board, wind him up. And who's that just jumped up there? That is obnoxious. You didn't score that goal. You get down. But I think that player traits are super underappreciated. Like, Lewandowski does not have speed dribbler or dribbles at pace or whatever it's called. And so he always, no matter if he has 99 dribbling, 99 ball control, whatever it's going to be, is not going to feel as good on the ball as a player that has the speed dribbling or the, dribbling with pace or whatever it may be. It's just not going to be how it works. So that's something that if you want to see those, check Foothead for player traits and try building your squads taking into consideration player traits, and find players that fit with traits that fit your play style. When you find your favorite player on Ultimate Team, take a look at his traits and say, okay, these are the traits that he has. These are the ones that I think are most beneficial. And then when you try to build a new squad, see if you can't find a player that's somewhat similar, and see if the player feels kind of the same. That's like not necessarily the best way to do it, but just take a look at traits for me and report back. That's all we're asking you guys to do. Nice goal there from Ousmane Dembele, the Dortmund winger. Another smashing shot there from Arturo Vidal. We are in the round? We're in the first round of the Foot Champions Daily Cup. The prize is a gold pack and 500 coins, which I like as a prize. The gold pack, you never know what you're going to get. Exhibit A, Arturo Vidal out there on the pitch, and the 500 coins is always nice. Plus, the consumables means that I am able to keep my players in contract, use fitness cards, or whatever it may be. I can also sell that stuff on, so that's awesome. The weekend league starts in, I believe it's 10 days, so we will see how well I do in there. Like, this is the issue now that I have the full game. I'm going to want to play on my main account as well, which is, on my main account, I basically like learn the game as best that I can. So when it comes to Path to Power stuff, you guys are not only getting like quality gameplay, but you're also able to get all of my different thoughts on all of the different aspects of the game. So there's quite a bit to it. And grinding on my main account is generally the way I go. But with the chance to get a ton of coins for Path to Power, there's a chance that I'm going to try to go ham in there. And in that case, I want to have a really, really good squad. We have about 25, 30,000 coins right now. This is the squad that we have, and it definitely needs some upgrades. I do like Juan Bernat. I should upgrade to Peacechecker Lam at right back because the Ukrainian player that I have, I can't remember his name, but he's just not that great. I looked at his stats, and defending, physical, and pace are great, but the way I ask players to play in regards to shielding, dribbling, passing, he is just not that strong. Also, some of you guys are going to see Lars Bender on there and say, why would you not get Luis Gustavo? Just compare their stats. I think Lars Bender, this is his year that he's finally relevant on Ultimate Team. So go ahead and check him out. We're going to add all of our Bundesliga players to the bench for our Pro League side, which has been oh so good to us to start things out. Also, I picked Sommer as goalie over, what is it, Fairman. I think had actually better keeper stats. So you're looking at your reflexes, your diving, your handling, your positioning. Like all in all, I think he had better stats for that. But Sommer has 85 kicking. And I've been playing around with the right bumper X goalkeeper kind of flat kick or whatever to get the counterattack started. And I think it's really, really good. So I wanted a player or a keeper that had good kicking to keep trying that out and try to get better at it to see if I can't figure out a way to get a reliable counterattack. You can see this is the glitch with the kits right here. Even though he's got his white kit selected, his player's wearing the black kit, and mine is in the what would be the exact same white kit. But we'll go into the game. It'll be absolutely fine. So just something to remember, take into consideration. Also, if you guys are enjoying this series as we go into this game, if you could drop a like or leave a comment on the video, that would be absolutely awesome. It truly helps me out and lets me know kind of where you guys are, that you are indeed enjoying the longer episodes and everything that goes along with it. But for those of you guys that have been doing that, I also want to say a big thank you right there. Lovely finish, Moses Simon. That is a finesse shot. So I'm using right bumper B to one time that, and it's just a cool animation. I don't know if there was an animation kind of similar to that in 16, but I don't know if it was that directly. You'll see it a lot better on the replay. We're only in the 5th minute. You can see that's just a cool finish. Like, it really, really is. I felt really, really good about that. The one-time finishes this year are for real. They are super, super legit. Ndidi into Jolly, Stanshu, back to Jolly, back to, I was aiming for Stanshu. It didn't go to him, but it's found its way off of the rebound to Leon Bailey, who taps it home. And this is all 9th minute, so a great start. And really, this Belgian Pro League team just plays so, so well. And as great as Arturo Vidal is, I think there's something to be said for the type of players that are in, like, if you look at this Pro League side, there are a lot of quick players, but there's not a ton of big bruiser types. I have big bruisers in the positions that I think matter. I've got one center back in Taraval that's good. I've got Ndidi as a CDM, and one of my outside backs is just like a monster. My left back's a really, really big guy. Jairzinho, the speak of the devil on the ball right here. But for the most part, the rest of the players aren't massive, and they're kind of quicker, more technical players, even for silvers. And looking at the Bundesliga, there are players that are like that, and I need to consider figuring out ways to get more of them into the squad. Because honestly, Ousmane Dembele, the reason I picked him is because he's got great, well, not great pace, but he's got good dribbling, and he had the highest finishing stat of any right-sided player not named Arjen Robben in the Bundesliga. And so I was like, okay, this is great. I'll toss him in. He's not that expensive, but I think I could find better options. Also, I went with Raphael, and while Raphael has a lot of the attributes that I was talking about, he's a little bit quicker. He's not quite fast enough. And I don't know what it is about him. He should be rated higher. I'm going to get that out of the way to begin with. If you watch the Bundesliga consistently, you've got to think that Raphael should be like at least 84 rated, but he's not. So I could go out and get Julian Draxler, which is something I'll consider, but I'm really more so considering hybriding the squad out. And what my thought process is going to be for that is I'm going to say, okay, I want to use Arturo Vidal. In order to do that, I need a Bayern either left back or right back, and a Bayern either left wing or right wing to get that pure chemistry for this formation to make it easy on myself to switch squads around. So I do have Douglas Costa and I've got Burnett, so I can move him to the left, no problem. I can also go out and get Kingsley Coman, which would be, he's like half the price of Douglas Costa, but Douglas Costa's got 4-star skills, so I want, or 4-star skills, 5-star skills, so I wanted to give that a shot. This guy using Juan Cuadrado and El Shaarawy up front, 5-star skills. I'm going to assume that he's a bit of a skiller. He was indeed. He's pretty good with the skill moves, so I got to give him credit. But this is a nicely worked goal here. Eventually to King Arturo, who smashes it. First time finish yet again, just like what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go out and look at right-sided players and say, okay, what's like important to me? Having 4-star skills is very, very important for me in a winger because I do tend to like to take players on. So I'm going to look at that. I also have to be looking at a center forward who's either going to connect with Costa or Vidal. If they're from a different league, it's going to have to be a Brazilian player or a Chilean player, or I can go out and get Kingsley Coman and connect him with a French player and go about it that way. So right now I'm kind of looking at things and it's like, all right, how much is Di Maria? Because adding Ben Arfa and Angel Di Maria to the side is a pretty nice looking option. That is a terrible finish from Rafael, that first one. And this is the point where I was like, all right, you might be getting sold. But he kind of redeemed himself right there, so it's okay. So that was my first thought with going with Coman. Considering Brazilian center forward striker attackers, I'm not overly impressed with on Ultimate Team. Now, I could get an attacking mid, and there's some nice options there, but for the most part, I'm not overly excited about it. And like, if Alexis Sanchez had a striker card or a center forward card, that's something I would consider, but BPL players are so expensive. I just didn't think that was the option. So my opponent, what you're seeing right here is I changed the instructions to put my left back and right back on stay back while attacking, which is what I used to play for instructions for this formation. All I'm playing with right now is, or maybe I changed it after this game, is stay back while attacking on Lars Bender or my CDM. But once he was playing on like counter attack and had his left forward and right forward on stay forward and get him behind and stuff, I had to have my left back and right back stay back to keep a numbers advantage that I like. So it's my 4 defenders on his 3 attackers. Even if he's going to try to counter and force the counter, and both of our midfielders are out of the question, or all of the midfield is like irrelevant to the attempted counterattack, I'm in a better shape right there. And I'm confident that the majority of the time I'm going to get the better of him. So Juan Bernat out for 1 match. Going to go ahead and apply a healing chemistry to him. I had a bronze one, which is just awesome. I'm also going to go ahead and apply a squad training item. I have a bronze fitness card here for squad training. I'd like all my players to be at perfect health or perfect fitness going into the final, just in case it goes into extra time. I do have options on the bench in Aubameyang and Royce and a few of my Belgian players that'll be at full fitness as well. So things are looking pretty good here going into the last match in this one. And the daily, let me know if you guys that have the full game now, if you're playing daily knockouts, if you're playing drafts, if you're playing seasons, what is your favorite thing? Or if you're just grinding out squad builder challenges. I had a question that was like, Japes, can you show us how to do the next set of squad builder challenges? And I can, but I was kind of planning out the squad in my head, and they're going to be expensive to do, or the next set's expensive to do. So I figured I'd give it some time and see if some of the expensive players that I thought I could use for the challenge would drop in price. If they do indeed drop in price, then it's going to be a lot easier and more cost effective to complete, because I think it's an all rare players pack that you get for completing it as well, which would be great if you get an elite player, but if not, you spend a lot of coins. And that's the double-sided thing with squad builder challenges. So I thought the ones that I completed were good ways to make some coins. This one with the higher rated total, a little bit riskier to do. So we're going to go ahead and head on into the final. This guy using a 4-2-2, mainly a French League side, but he's got some weird Sirigu, and I'm not even sure who the Spanish center back is. I believe the Italian guy's name is Rizzo, but beyond that, I can't tell you guys. If I had the names over their heads, I'd be able to tell you them. So that's something to look forward to next episode. I will try to remember to do that. It's something that feel free to tweet me like tomorrow morning US time. I think that's probably when I'll hop back on a Path to Power account. King Arturo, how good has he been for us? Like, how good and how important has he been for this squad? You can only guess, like, would I have won all the games without him? I don't know, because he scored a lot of important goals. Obviously, there'd be another player in that position, and I was talking about this on Twitter as well. Talking about the success of players relative to their position and how you play, that's a huge mistake by me there, and that's just an easy counterattack to give up. I was really bummed about that. But so the guy that plays RCM for my Belgian Pro League side is Andale Jolly, and we've had a huge amount of success with him. So maybe just this year for the false 9 variation of the 4-3-3 or 4-3-3 and number 5, I just abuse my RCM, and I have to have a goal scoring option at that position to kind of succeed with the way that I'm playing. So it's just something for me personally to take into consideration. I know the easiest example or easiest thing to look at with this is to if you're playing a 2-striker set, does your left striker score more than your right striker? If so, take your 2 strikers and switch them, right? I don't care what footed they are. If you want to switch your strikers play with them one way for 4 games, play with them switched for 4 games, and just see if you're scoring more with whoever's just the left striker at the time, or if it's the player in particular that's really good. Because if it's the player in particular that's really good and you're just scoring a lot with them, then that's great. And you can switch out the other player and get someone, better in to complement that player. But if you're finding that it's just the position and it's not the player, you can probably plug and play and try a lot of different squads out. So it's just something little for you guys to consider. We do manage to win the final, 2,000 coins. So the 500 coin bonus for being the team of the tournament, 1,000 coins for the coin boost, and then various other coins for completing the match against Roos Beast. We put in a pretty decent shift, not great. I brought Marco Reus on as a sub there once I got scored on and gave up that silly goal. He headed it in right away. It was awesome for me. Marco Reus feels amazing on Ultimate Team. If you can get your hands on him, do it. Because even in the short cameo that he had for the Path to Power squad, he was awesome. In our pack, absolutely nothing. We get Cataldi, a Italian CM from Lazio, and that's just not that much to, frankly, get excited about. I do get an Orlando player, so I thought maybe being MLS player with the Javico challenge still going on, I might be able to sell him, but he's a non-rare gold. Lots of gold packs have been opened at this point in time. He's not going to sell on for that much. We're still going to try to do it, don't get me wrong. I'm just not that hopeful that he's going to sell for that much. So that is where we're going to come to a close for this episode. I want to say thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy it, a like or thumbs up is greatly appreciated. Other than that, my name is Japes, and I will catch you all next time.